Welcome, and it's headline roundup. It's a beautiful day in Abuja. I don't know, elsewhere in Nigeria. How are you feeling? How are you weathering this APC government entirely? And my name is Ikoku Chidozie Ikemba, and it's a wonderful day. I have my co-host with me.
Michael Pepple.
Yeah, and people, it's a wonderful day for the people of APC because they know very well that their man has been golfing all through. But it's a beautiful day for Nigerians because we have a very good day for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. It's his birthday anyway, and I don't know, we have a lot of word for him.
Wish him happy birthday.
Wish His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar happy birthday on a very, very, very noteworthy day. Yesterday was a glorious one in Kwara, and we had a Totomus crowd coming out, hailing and saying all they want is what? Atiku Abubakar. They said Otisua, and that's telling you that it's another happy birthday for him, and we wish him all the best. And we actually wish that all his plans for the nation actually recovers Nigeria. So on the news, we have some major headlines that we'll be talking about today, and the one that really worries me is the one that talks about DSS releasing the bandits negotiator, Toko Mamu. One will wonder what exactly is going on with the DSS, Mamu, the federal government, and they have this kind of affinity with releasing terrorists and actually leaving out those who are actually have become what we call political prisoners in this country. And one would think that in the Senate line, you would have one who is actually fighting for the people out of prison, and you should have those who are actually enslaving the people, destroying people, killing people, should be in prison. But it's actually worrisome.
The same thing with Sheikh Gumi, so-called being free in the streets of wherever he is. Then someone like Tukumamu, I think, like I always say, like, are we surprised that when we see this current administration do some kind of lackluster and foolish things they do?
Well, you're talking about lackluster. Actually, I see them actually becoming a kind of a bandits sympathizers, because looking at the present vice presidential candidate of the APC, Kazim Shettima, you could remember that Kabiru Sokoto was found in his residence when he was the governor of Borno State, right here in Abuja, and he made his way out of the prison, out of Kuje prison, after the jailbreak that happened in Kuje. And one would wonder, this government seems to be very quick to release these terrorists to the public, but leaving out. Okay, if it's as we are discussing this issue right now, we have a Nnamdi Kanu in prison, who has not even attempted up to what Kazim Shettima has actually done. Kazim Shettima housed a terrorist. Mamu has been accused of funding terrorism, and you will have Mamu being released by the same DSS who arrested him. And he was not even arrested, he was making his way out of this country when he was arrested. So one will wonder, I don't know the kind of part the federal government is playing at this time.
The Minister of, I think it's Digital Communications, what's his name?
Patami.
Patami. Was last year, this year, when the US actually called him a terrorist sympathizer.
You're correct.
When you have someone like this as a minister, obviously the so-called bandits and terrorists will be emboldened to do what they want to do. And let's not forget that I think the reason why there's some sort of affinity with these terrorists is because rumor has it that they are the northern politicians, the leaders, are the ones that actually brought them in to do some unscrupulous activities, and now it has backfired against them. So
one will look at APC and say, because they seem to like violence. Looking at the presidential candidate of APC, Bola Tinubu, he has MC Luomo in his camp, and you could see the terror they actually have afflicted on Lagosians. And you look at someone like that, and his utterances actually depict that this man is one. Look at the pact, the signing of the pact. He was never there to sign the peace pact. So you look at them as they don't even actually give a damn about what happens to Nigerians. Whatever they just want is just to clinch onto power and actually melt out whatever action they decide to do on Nigerians. But I'm glad that they have we Nigerians have a capable hand who is actually running for this presidency, and is actually going to bring succor to Nigerians come February 23 when he's going to be elected. And looking at, he was in Kwara yesterday. He made the news, and Kwara yesterday, like at the opening, I said Kwara was really, really welcoming yesterday. It was, one would give it to Dr. Bukola Saraki, who actually organized this outing, and the outing was one that one should credit. I don't know if the technical crew have a video out there so that people could see how actually people rushed out, came out and kept shouting Otisua. And for people who don't actually know what the meaning of Otisua means, Otisua means we are tired. So, and looking at the message that is coming from Atiku, he's saying we are coming to recover Nigeria. So people are saying they are tired of this APC government. The maladministration of this APC government has gotten to the peak where people don't really care anymore. All they want right now is to bring a unifier, one who can actually resurrect our economy, one that can give us quality education. And you can see that in the response from the crowd yesterday. They all were just screaming, Atiku, Atiku, Atiku. I guess you watched it also yesterday.
Yes, I did watch it actually, and when it's common knowledge that everyone is tired. Even our Naira note is tired. That's why he had to find a way to be changed. Like it's at this point you can't even stand to bear it anymore because prices of everything going up. The exchange rate is like it's unbelievable how absurd the exchange rate is. So like you said, the people of Kwara have spoken. They spoke to Nigeria and they spoke to the world at large at who they will vote in the next election. I think the APC were actually very threatened as well. They had to do some kind of photo op and try and get their image right for Kwara State.
Yeah. Looking at his outing yesterday, he talked about injecting $10 billion to actually tackle youth unemployment. And when we look at that's huge. And looking at this stimulus package that he's talking about, this is visible. This is what actually will give Nigerian youth the forefront of our workforce is the youth. And if you're actually injecting $10 billion to actually tackle the unemployment, what we look at, what has the APC government been thinking about? Why is it that it's only when Atiku talks, APC has to do something? Because he seems to have all the solutions. He seems to have the key to unlock this economy. And one would actually be embarrassed by the situation we have in the government of APC. You have the finance minister telling you that most times they are not even aware of spending, and they are telling the CBN is telling you that the Naira has been redesigned. But what we have are photocopied notes. One will wonder that if, again, as Atiku has spoken, you will not be surprised to see them wake up tomorrow and tell you that they're also injecting money into the economy for the youth. And this is just propaganda, I think, for the APC. Because our candidate, Elijah Atiku Abubakar, has always been the pioneer opener for any innovative policy for this country. And looking at the current economy, he has had meetings with the younger professionals, business community. Look at the LCCI in his outing. He told them that he was going to actually be going all out to make sure that the economy kickstarts. And that's why I like the message, recover Nigeria. Nigeria is actually sick. I will need a president that can actually recover it.
I agree with you. You know, I was watching something today, and the person brought up was like, where is he going to get the money from? Is he going to borrow the money? And in my opinion, even if he borrows the money, like every country borrows money, it's about how you use the money. And if, as he has said, he uses it's good he has said it, at least now, honestly, we can hold him account for what he has said when he wins. So if he uses the money, as he says he would, and he invests it in the youth, because the youth actually engineers the economy one way, and even now that there's really no money in the economy, it's still the youths that are finding as much as they can, wherever they can, to try and keep the economy going. So if he can inject such amount, in my opinion, if he injects such an amount in manufacturing, which would actually give youth employment because they are the workforce, and maybe entertainment as well, these are things that would definitely push the country forward and also help recover the money.
You're right about it. Absolutely, you're correct. Because looking at the tech world now, we have most youths actually being more innovative, using it to solve a lot of problems. And you know, when you solve a problem, you stand a chance of making more money. And these are the innovations. That's why he has been having these interaction engagements with the young professionals, business professionals of this country, because he knows that is exactly the only thing that can kickstart this economy back. And looking at in the tech, look at Elon Musk. People are beginning to look at what exactly can we get from this fintech? What can we get from the packages that are coming from these people? But you know what actually surprises me, that this country has all it takes to actually survive. But what we need is leadership, and that's what the PDP is bringing. We need a leadership that can actually stand deliberately and get things going on. Look, talking about that again, the APC is at it. They have taken up innovation and speech from Elijah Atiku after he had a meeting in Abuja last week or thereabout, and he talked about history, going back to our curriculum. And just yesterday, the APC has said they are actually training over 3,700 teachers to pick up these subjects and take it back to our classrooms. Are they clueless?
Let me take it as they are, they are softening the path to his victory. They don't want him to do too much when he gets into.
Wow.
That's how I would take it, because he seems to be copying everything he's doing or he says he wants to do. And when it comes to history, I think I was actually very surprised because I remember growing up. I think I was taught history in secondary school.
Yeah, correct.
I was taught history in secondary school, so it's quite amazing and surprising to me that history isn't being taught again, because history is very important. And when we talk about history, we're talking about, in my opinion, I think proper history should be taught, like history of us as a race and how we were, colonized, the real truth about colonization and not what they want to be taught. Like, that's my first. I think history is a good thing to be taught.
One would just wonder exactly what goes in mind of our leaders actually talking about the APC government, because how would you withdraw the history of the people from the youths who are growing? What exactly? If you don't know where you're coming from, how do you know where you're going to? Because you don't exactly. I don't blame them. If you don't have something to offer, there's nothing you're going to be giving to the people. So it's obvious that they're actually hugging on the truth coming from Elijah Atiku Abubakar. And but at this time we'll go on break, and when we come back, we'll bring you more of the stories. And stand by, please.
I believe in Atiku Abubakar's capacity and the presidency, because Atiku is one of the unifying factors that Nigeria needs now. If you look at the scenario of what is happening in Nigeria right now, you'll find out that Nigeria needs a unifier, somebody that can break the ties and able to start these issues of insurgencies in every area of the country. I like Atiku Abubakar because he believes in human resource.
But days went by, years went by, and tomorrow never came. Turned out there was never really a plan for tomorrow. It was all a lie to keep us in their mental slavery. Because with each day that goes by, I see my country being stripped of her glory. But we know better now. We are more aware now. It is time to take our country back from these hijackers who keep recycling themselves. If this tomorrow must come, we will have to create it ourselves. But this time, with someone we can trust. Someone who understands our pain. And so I call on every Nigerian youth. Come 2023, come out and vote. Because our vote is our power. When you vote, vote for a man we can trust. Vote for a breath of fresh air. Vote Atiku Abubakar for president.
We are going to Osun State anyway, and going to Osun State, we're talking about Oyetola and Adeleke. I was quite taken aback seeing day for yesterday when I saw the suit that was filed by the APC candidates in the Osun State gubernatorial election, actually trying to stop the inauguration of the governor-elect, Senator Ademola Adeleke. And one will wonder, when exactly would APC stop at actually truncating our democracy, a democracy that our forefathers, our present fathers actually fought to actually sustain and maintain and allow the youth to actually thrive. But now you see them going up by all means to make sure that a democratic process does not become a process, but what? They want to just truncate it and drop it into the trash. I don't know how they get, but it's actually a good one yesterday at the court, because the presiding judge said, this is no case. You can only come back on the 29th.
Well,
and that's after the inauguration. So explain to us why we should not stop the inauguration.
Exactly. The people have spoken, and those naysayers, those bad belly people of the Adelekes can go to hell or whatever. I'm going to, like, that's how personal I take it right now. I see Oyetola as a sore loser, to be very honest. Like, if not, I don't really see, like, the people have spoken. So what are you going to fight for in the court, trying to stop what, like? But at the end of the day, it's good that the judiciary is there. The hope for the common man has prevailed, and yeah, after inauguration, you can come.
No, it also actually help our viewers to know that during the saga between Omishure and Aregbesola, the then governor of Osun State, this was the same ploy, because it was adjudged that Omishure won that election, but through legal debacles, they had to actually find a way to actually make sure that the INEC announced Omishure.
He's even lucky. He's even lucky he even became governor, because we all know what the manipulations that happened in the previous elections.
Yes, I was coming to that, and coming to the election between Oyetola and Adeleke in the first term of Oyetola. One would actually would remember that after the election, there was an inconclusion to that same process, and after a appraisal of it, he lost that election due to the same gimmicks from the APC. But one will look at this election, the Beavers played a very, very pivotal role in actually making things work well for the people, because the people spoke, and loudly they spoke, and Adeleke became the governor-elect in Osun State.
The vote counts, they were already on the portal, so we were just waiting for it to be official from INEC.
And that is the
there's
beauty.
no way
what Goodluck Jonathan fought for. That's the electoral reform that he fought for, and we are glad that after adhering to the people's voice, after adhering to pressure, after 5 attempts to take it to the President Muhammadu Buhari, he actually looked at it and said, the people have spoken, I can no longer do anything or delay this process. He had to assent to it.
For me, I feel like we actually have to give credit to President Buhari for signing that law, because he couldn't. No, honestly, I think
it was taken to him 5 times.
But he could have rejected it. He could have rejected it
the first time, second time, third time, fourth time.
But he signed
now
it.
credit him for the 5th time.
But he signed it
because it was about living.
Well, that's the good thing.
I'm a person that actually I look at character here. I look at antecedents. I look at precedents, and I look at the person we are talking about. In 1983 to 84, this is a man that came in through the back door. And when I say the back door, he came in as a coup plotter. He came in as one who actually truncated democracy in this country, removing the then President Shehu Shagari. And same man declared a decree 4, actually to mute people from speaking. And I don't think such a man who has not contributed to self or the community. After 30 years, after we cried out, people cried out and said, don't elect this man. And now see what we have. The calamity we have today in this country is as a result of people not yielding to the voice of reasoning.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not praising Buhari. I'm praising his signature on that electoral act. That's all.
Well, you can praise his signature. I don't know, probably you also praise his thumbprint. Because I wonder exactly what is to be praised in a man that has not actually taken any regard for the rule of law. And this is a man that actually barged into Supreme Court Justice's house and with his forces. And you look at today, I can tell you that people are more scared of what might happen to them, because that was the backdrop of what brought about NSAS. Because there was a lot of force that was coming to the people. People are being hit down on the street. People are being maimed by these same security operatives. So I'm looking at this situation at this time. It's not him to be praised. Goodluck Jonathan should take the praise, because he started this. He wanted this, because his principal, late Muhammad Yaradua, said, the election that brought me into this office is flawed. And instantly, he did what? He brought in the electoral reform. And today, we have the Beavers. So we should just congratulate the PDP for always being a pioneer of a forefront to bring our democracy to a better state, and not what the APC is doing, trying to bring us to a place where we can no longer actually have a democracy, but have an autocracy. Well, moving on, let's look at what's happening with the Labour Party. I think war is brewing in the Labour Party.
There's a crisis in the Labour Party.
Yeah, very, very
big crisis.
a tough one that they actually, I don't think they can cope with at this time because in Ogun, they're already calling for the dissolution of the Presidential Campaign Council. And this is actually what most people have been saying all the while. They are saying that most of their leadership are all Southerners. Wow.
That's like I always tell people this. See, I think with Peter Obi and his whole movement, it's a very hypocritical movement in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
And yesterday as well, I was watching on channels and I saw Babachi Lawal endorse them. I'm like, is this not the same thing you guys are quote unquote fighting against? This is a man that was just cleared of fraud, money laundering charges, and he's here endorsing your candidacy, talking about equity when now you say all their leadership are from majority of them are from the south. So like I always say, we need to sometimes before we vote, we need to know what we are talking. We need to know what we're talking about and who these candidates are, not just listening to surrogates and propaganda.
Well, looking at Bachelor, I would just say that you know, when a is speaking from two sides of his mouth, because one, he was the same man that was saying that he was going to support Atiku, but he's still going to remain in the APC. So, and his credibility and integrity has actually come to question at that point, because you cannot be saying one thing at this time and be saying the other thing. And that's the same thing we are talking about. Peter Obi. Peter Obi, after people shout, go and verify. And when you verify, you find out it's all lies. And these are things that we are talking about. The personality that is coming and singing these songs to people, you cram and you pour all these statistics, and when they check it out, they are all concocted statistics from nowhere, and you would see that actually applying in his fan base. They have nothing to offer. When you ask them what has Peter Obi done, what they do is they call you all sorts of names. That is what they do. Yeah. And you look at the man, Peter Obi. He used to be a PDP member.
All of them used to be.
And all of it.
That's what surprising me.
So
that's
one would wonder exactly where.
Members.
That's why I like the vice presidential candidate of our party. He told them at the town hall at Transcorp. He said, "Tell your followers the truth. We are all spending money. To run an election requires you to spend money." And I think that is why all these Babachela all are running towards Peter Obi. Probably he's sharing something behind us.
Diaspora funds.
Exactly. Oh, wow. And he's not speaking about it. So let's just focus on issues and not distractions at this time, because we have an election to deliver, and it's victory all the way, because what happened in Kwara yesterday, one would actually know the people actually clamoring for an Atiku's presidency, and we are all ready to recover this country, because it's a sick one at the moment. And you were talking about Trump the other time. All right.
Yeah, it's nothing serious. I was just talking about he has declared to run for president, and you know, it's when you declare to run for president in America where it's worse in America than it is in Nigeria when it comes to you find out who your grandfather dated in secondary school, that kind of thing. So
wow, so there's a scandal already?
Yeah, yesterday, what's her name, Agent Carol, whatever her name is, filed a lawsuit, rape, whatever lawsuit. But she did the same thing in 2016 and she lost, so it's probably just part of politics.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Trump, but it will interest the people, our viewers, to know that Trump has been released on Twitter, but he has not been tweeting, and coming to say that he's going to be contesting come the next election. Well, I wish him all the best, but I don't think Americans are ready for another Trump again, because his first tenure was just tantrums all the way.
If you ask me, and when people say Americans aren't ready for Trump, I'm like, good, fine. Then you Democrats should be very happy he's running. You take a clean sweep. So let the man do his thing and stop, you know, like
after
they did the same thing. They did the same thing in 2016. The man declared to run. He wasn't going to win. All polls say he wasn't going to win, and he won. Yes, obviously, in politics, the man is not a career politician. He was a businessman. So in whatever happened on January 6th, the Democrats have fueled worse things happening.
Well, let's come back home. You remember that in 2011, when Muhammadu Buhari, the now president, said dogs and baboons will roast. And you remember, that's why when you're in a position of leadership, you should be very careful your utterances.
True.
Because the utterances that you make at that time can actually incite violence.
True.
Or actually make the country become more stable. That's why I'm looking at the crop of leaders that have been lined up with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the PDP. You can see Bukola Saraki, very fine politician, one who actually can be adjudged to be a presidential candidate material. You can see that those are the kind of people that we have. You can see Emeka Ihedioha. You can see our own barrister Anthony Hilebo. You can see fine young politicians who are actually lining up with the PDP. We don't want a situation whereby a Trump will come again and make statements that will now bring another insurrection on America. So that's actually my import of my own argument that Trump again, well, I wish Americans all the best.
I hope you win though.
And on sports, we have actually Africans have been having it a little bit of tough with the match of yesterday, Portugal versus Cameroon.
Yeah, Ronaldo became the first man to score 5 goals in 5 different World Cups. So I think that's the takeout from that match. Ghana played very well actually. Yeah, they played very well, and I think it was in the balance of things. Maybe a draw would have been nice, but obviously the better team won.
Yeah,
but
sorry, I was about to say, I made a mistake there. Ghana, not Cameroon. Yeah. Because I was actually having this goosebump yesterday when I saw the Ghana team. I believe that, oh, these people are going to take down.
They played well.
They played well. They did their best. Their defense, but Bruno, look at Bruno Fernandes. He did a very, very awesome job tearing up the defense and actually giving a kind of a take home for Portugal and for Cristiano Ronaldo, looking at what he's going through with the Man U at this time.
Yeah, hopefully, like, we're waiting for you at Arsenal. He wants you to go to Chelsea. But,
well, on a more serious note, I think it's time for Cristiano Ronaldo to come down to the bridge because we need to mend the bridge. Yeah, we need to mend the bridge.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's what you can take for today, and don't forget. If you have not taken your PVC, go on and collect your PVC today. Because we are on the road to recovery. We're on the road to make sure that this country that has been adjudged to be sick, that we can all recover Nigeria together. My name is Ikoku Chidozie Ikemba. Join us again on Monday, where we'll bring you another interesting and highlights into the happenings in Nigeria.
And I'm Michael Pepple. Thank you very much.